suck it up. Coach Byers screaming, suck it up. Coach Chipoletti, suck it up. Coach Utley, lively.
Coach Utley.
Yeah, remember Coach
Utley?
No,
coach, he was the principal.
No, Coach Utley, the white Coach Utley. Good morning.
I forgot about him.
Welcome. We have something to say. Me and Kenneth always going down memory lane. You know, we can't help it. We forget sometimes that we're supposed to go live. And I know Mary and Macmillan's like, they always got that damn colored folks time. And when we go, we don't do what we say we're going to do. Let me. Yeah. What I want to talk about. First of all, let me say this. Kenneth, look, what I'm about to say, I hope you're not offended by it, but it needs to be said. And so I sent Kenneth some topics that I want to talk about. And the first one I want to talk about is it's been a whole bunch of stuff over the last week talking about African-American men and the election. And African-American men and whether they're going to participate. And let me say this. First of all, every last one of us that does anything political as a hobby because we like it, we all know that majority of African-American men are voting for Kamala Harris. We know that. And so, you know, I think we've been seeing all these guys get on here and complain about what Obama did and his message and blah, 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 blah. And I think y'all missing the nuances of the conversation. The nuance of the conversation is, look, whenever you go into a campaign, I'm gonna make this quick, you have to fire up your base and the people that you know you're gonna vote for. And you need that base to be at a certain number. I think I read the record for it was like 92%, 98% black women, and when Obama first got elected, and 92% for African-American men. So it's a numbers game. So when they start telling you that you get down to around 86 or 85 percentile, they're telling you that her chances of winning at that percentile is not good. Not that it doesn't mean the majority. It's just saying that, hey, he's filling off enough of us that it's not good. And that's all they're saying.
But it's also thing that I keep reiterating to people. It's not the 95 or 92% or 86% of black men voting for Kamala Harris. That's 86% of the men that's voting, period. Not 86% of the black male community. So if let's say, okay, listen to this. Let's say there's 15 million eligible black voters in this country, male and female. And it just for information purposes, that half is half of that number, that 15 million is women, half of men. If you have that's 86%, 86% of the men. I'm sorry, 15 million that are registered to vote. Right. You got that. Let's split them even 75 million, 7,500 million a piece.
African American.
African American
okay.
Men and
I heard you say men.
Yeah, men and women. 75.
No, African American men and women.
Yeah. Right. So that's only 7.5 million people. If you have 86% of the men, that's registered voters.
Right, that's registered.
If we only have 60% of our community that's voting, that numbers goes way down.
Right.
It goes way down. 60%. I'm not good at math, but 60% of 7.5 million is probably about
6 million people. You're right.
Yeah,
it's like
something like that. Maybe 6 million.
It's 15 million. You're right.
Yeah. So we're talking about 82% of 6.5 million. Or 6 million. Let's say that. Actually, it's less than that. Probably closer to 5 million, about 5.5 million. 6%, 82%, 5.5 million. That means there are roughly about 2 million black men that's not voting, that eligible to vote. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. 2 million can change. 2 million more votes can change the complexion of this country, the direction of this country. 2 million votes. 2 million votes can make a big difference. So when people complain about it doesn't make that big, it's not that big of a deal. 2 million votes is a very big deal. So you have 2 million black men that's not voting at all. Not voting at all. That can change an entire election around this country. Who's the president? Who's the governor of each state? Who's in the Senate? Who's in Congress? That can change all of that. It can change 2 million more votes. Let's say out of that 2 million, let's pick Georgia. Let's say it's 150,000 men that don't vote in Georgia. Black men that don't vote in Georgia. African American men that don't vote.
Eligible black men, right?
Eligible black men. We just talk about the ones that are eligible. We're not talking about black men, period.
Yeah, and registered.
We're not talking about ones that are not that are not registered to vote. Those that can't vote because of a felony conviction, and those two things. We're not talking about them. We're talking about men that are registered to vote, that are eligible to vote, that are registered to vote, that's not voting. So in Georgia, you get 150,000 more men that vote. We wouldn't have Brian Kemp as governor. We would not have the state legislators that we have. Because Brian Kemp won this last election by 50,000 votes.
Well, the first one he won by 50. The last one he won like as much as that. Right.
Okay. Let's say the first one he lost, Stacey Abrams lost to him. She lost by 50,000 votes. So that 150,000 black men voted. Even if we only said half of them voted for would have voted for Stacey Abrams. That's 75,000 more votes she would have gotten. That probably would have changed the complexion of the state of Georgia. So that's that 82% is really only 82% of the 60% of black people that vote. That's a big difference. That's a huge difference. Stop looking at, that's 82% of the black men vote. No, there's 82% of the black men that are registered to vote, that will vote, are voting for her. We need to get that number, that 62% up. That's 60% up.
Right. We need
that's exactly. What we need to get up.
That's what needs to get up. The percentage of voters getting up. And my point being, when you start getting your feelings, nobody's blaming anybody. What they are saying is you got to do your part. So when you get on here and you watch people going, why is Obama talking? That's because he's saying that, hey, here are the numbers. You have to do your part. You have to do your part. And for those of you who are peeling off and saying, I'm going for this person, he's saying, how can you go for that person? Because you're going to peel off, and you have the ability to change the trajectory of the nation. And he's saying, what are you doing? I'm saying, what are you doing? When you say it doesn't count, I go right back to 2016. You have your theory has proven to be untrue, because all the Bernie people did just what you're talking about doing right now. They got mad. They said they weren't voting for Hillary. They were mad about the process. So a lot of them sat out, and you got Trump. And in 4 years, he changed the trajectory of the country. So when you say what can happen, you've been shown what can happen. You're just getting gaslit, and you're believing it to think that this can happen. And so when we say, and I'm gonna say this to you, I'm gonna keep saying this until the election. When you have more to lose, you have to fight harder. People don't have more to lose, don't have to fight harder. Period. So it jumps right into what I'm going to say, because some of y'all not going to like it, or some people are going to show it to other people. I really don't give a damn. African-American men participation, from what I see as somebody who's canvassed for the last 2 weeks, who has somebody that works on the campaign in their household, who's going out today at 12 o'clock to canvass, is slim to none from what I see. And if you don't think that images matter, you really are being willfully ignorant. The images that are pushed out about us across the globe is what people think of us. So when you see African-American men actively participating in the campaign, it changes the image. And I'm telling you, as somebody who's out there, who I was asked last week on more one occasion by African-American women who are out there canvassing, hitting doors. There was one other African-American man at that office, just volunteering. He doesn't like the canvas, but they have him doing other stuff, putting up signs. Y'all, you all are really, really being irresponsible. I don't give a flying fuck if you get us insulted. If you can give an hour to a tailgate or to a football game, you can give an hour to volunteer for something that is going to affect you past that football game. It's laziness. And I don't care if you're mad. Send me all the smoke. Because if I hear one more African-American woman that's out there passing out flyers, hitting doors, my grandchildren with me last week, asking me, why aren't there more men participating? I'm going to lose my freaking mind. You got more to lose. Your money does not trump your humanity. You can give an hour. That's why I said on my Facebook Live, I don't know if Kenneth saw it, I don't want to see about your golf trips anymore. For 19 days, you telling me you can't give an hour? You can't give an hour. But folks that come have me held a tailgate. Hell fucking no, I'm not held to no tailgate. I got grandchildren I got to look after. You got grandchildren, obviously I'm looking after because I'm out here volunteering. I just went to, and I'm pissed. And I told Kenneth, hey man, if I'm offending you, you don't want to co-sign on this, I respect it, but I'm gonna say it. I just went to a function that the campaign held last Friday called Beers and Bros. They had Jermaine Dupree. They had the guy who started Fan Base. If you never heard of it, I got a Fan Base account. They had the head of the NAACP, the youngest head, the co-chair of the NAACP in North Georgia. We had approximately, I would say, 80 brothers there on a Friday at 6:30. Most of the people that are doing the work were Black women. And they were literally begging this group of men who obviously had something in common, because who goes somewhere on a Friday and rush hour traffic at 6:30 in downtown Atlanta? Kenneth knows how brutal that can be. And they asked for volunteers. Now, let me be clear. They didn't have a clear ask. I blame them for that. But they literally said we need volunteers. So I literally asked my wife the other day, hey, the next day did we get volunteers? You know, you had this bros and beer. They gave out free drinks, blah, 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 blah. You know, they asked for volunteers. So she asked me, why you keep asking me that? So I said, because I'm trying to see something. And then she comes to me yesterday and says, hey, out of all the volunteers, out of all the people that signed up for that event, one person showed up volunteer. One besides you. One. You are in a consequential election. Consequential. The worst that can happen is bad. The worst that can happen for you is bad. If you're in Augusta, if you're in Macon, if you're in Savannah, the worst that can happen, and you, for some strange reason, you are willing to take the chance. And I'll see everybody at a tailgate, because I live right across the street from the stadium. I'll see all these brothers, and I don't care if you don't like it. You can't give an hour? Do you understand if 10 men came and gave an hour, that's 10 hours of volunteer work? How many doors you can hit? Do you understand what your presence means? Have you forgotten who you are? Have you forgotten what you can accomplish and the people that came before you? Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten the wheel? Have you forgotten Denise McNair, Sarah and Cynthia Wesley, Adam Mae Collins, and Carol Robinson, 4 little girls who sacrificed for you to have this right? What the fuck? But you want to talk to me about sports and say, man, I don't want to get into politics. Guess what, dude? Politics is into you. And we are sitting ducks. I was just telling my brother this the other day. I woke up Wednesday in a cold sweat, woke up, I was antsy out, and I'm up early already, and then I realized we're sitting ducks. Sitting ducks. What you gonna do if he wins? And he does enact everything that he says. What you gonna do? You don't have the military, because you don't have no military, Mike. You haven't started up any militias, because you want to talk about homecoming and all this other bullshit. Not that it's bullshit, but it's bullshit compared to what we have coming across the horizon. And you can't go and give this sister an hour of your time. I don't care who gets mad. I don't care who comes on my page. I see AKAs out there, Deltas out there, Zetas out there. I'm telling you, I don't see anybody else out there from the frats. 1 hour? 1 hour. And this is my office. And if it's happening in the downtown office, it's happening at other offices. And you can't come on here and say, well, Leonard, you don't know everybody's. I'll be damned. I can make a pretty good goddamn guess based on the information I'm getting. 1 hour? 1 hour over the 19 days. 1 hour. And y'all don't understand that you for some reason, for some strange reason, which is beyond me, you act like we're not all in the same boat. You act like you don't know how we got here. And I'm going to tell you something Jermaine Dupri said, and I agree with Jermaine Dupri 100%. Those of you in Atlanta who are not participating, y'all really forgot what this city means to the rest of the country. You really forgot. You have forgot what this city means to African Americans across the country. This is the city. There is no other city. And he said it. You lose this city, you lost. Oh, you could be entertained by the games. Like some type of gladiator games. You could be entertained by all of that. But they have purged so many voters off the rolls because y'all do participate. This is not the time for me to damn be nice to you. I'm no longer going to talk to you in a sweet tone. Man, will you please, will you please, will you please? Shit, your ass on the line as much as mine is. You can give an hour. You can give 2. There's all kinds of things you can do. But you got to have the will to remember who and what you were and what you are to this country. And you got to call your friends out and say, nah, man, instead of us doing this, you don't have to miss all the football games, but goddamn, you can give 2 hours and say, I'm not going to see the first part of football games on Sunday. Let me go and do this, and then I'll catch the afternoon game. It's not for the rest of the year. We're talking about 19 days. You haven't done it in the past. I'm telling you, I've canvassed. The most we had at our office is 3 African-American men. And I'm telling you, they begging you. And then you wonder why these black women say what they say. Because they carrying the water while you sit back and you letting all the hard work that was done drift away because for some reason you think that Stephen Miller, Steve Bannon, Stephen Chung, all these people that run the campaign, Peter Navarro, Elon Musk won't come in and take what you've earned. And you know what you say? Oh, man, I got my gun. Motherfucker, one gun ain't going to do shit against the American military. Not a goddamn thing. Have you got with your friends next door and say, hey, man, if this shit goes to pot, we need to get together. Have you had somebody military training like Kenneth? No, you don't. So you have no options but to get in there and make sure she gets over the finish line. You don't. Kenneth, I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday who said to me, man, I meant to call you. I've just been busy. We talked about that a little bit, how that's not really a good excuse. He said, but I want to tell you something. I got a friend of mine that asked, can I come down and talk to my pastor? Because we're talking about talking to pastor. She's like, you don't want to talk to my pastor because he talking about he gonna vote for Trump. Man, call them goddamn pastors out. You're going to tell your congregation or insinuate to your congregation that we should take a chance on suppressing our right to vote, and you don't pay a penalty for it? Fuck that. That's why black men don't go to church. Because it ain't no men leading the church. It's businessmen. And we don't recognize that. And we recognize that you don't give us the strategy to do it. We recognize that. You want to make it about one issue voters. You say it's about abortion. Give me a break.
I say something. So I was in a discussion last night with some people, group text and all that. So we were talking about hanging out or whatever. One of them said, "Well," I said, "Hey, let's do lunch and let's go vote. Y'all go vote, and we'll do lunch." One of them said, "I'm not gonna vote." Why? Then he went on a diatribe about Kamala Harris, how he doesn't like her and all that. So I said, "What's your issue with her?" He didn't say anything. Then he said, "It's about the babies." So I was like, "You don't like her because she supports abortion? Is that what it is?" Abortion's been an issue in our ballots for years. This ain't nothing new. It didn't just come up with her. It didn't just come up with her. Abortion's been conservatives have been trying to get rid of abortion since 1973. Every election, since the 80s, every Supreme Court justice that's been put in that's been asked, anybody that's been nominated for Supreme Court and probably federal judges, period, has been asked about their abortion stance. Every single one of them since the 80s. This has been an issue since the 80s. Why is it an issue with her? Then somebody else chimed in, that Hindu wearing, hijab wearing. First of all, she's not Hindu. That's number one. Number two, hijabs are not worn by Indians. That's worn by Muslims. She's not Muslim. So that's telling me, well, I've done my own research. What research have you done? I want you to think about something. If you type into your search engine right now, why black men hate Kamala Harris, or let's say this: Kamala Harris is a communist, or Kamala Harris is a fascist, or whatever. I guarantee you, for the rest of your for the next few months, you will get every article written about that, saying that exact same thing. It's called an algorithm. If you look up something and you say a specific thing, you will continue to get stuff dealing with that subject. Every time you look up, there'll be something in your on your Facebook feed or something like that dealing with that subject. So if you put in something negative about somebody, you will get negative articles about them. You go YouTube, put in something negative about a candidate, you will get YouTube videos continuously about something negative about that candidate. That doesn't mean it's true. Just because the algorithm gives you information on the same, and it's the same thing. It's always people that have negative things to say, like remember going back to, she locked up more black men than anybody else in California history. We all know that shit ain't true. It ain't true. But you will get articles, and you'll get YouTube videos and all kind of videos supporting that argument, because that's what you typed in, or you clicked on one and it will continue to give you that same thing over and over again. That's called an algorithm. It's literally designed to do that. Even on Facebook, if you type up something, I went to I think it was Wayfair or something like that, or Wayfair and Amazon, because I was looking to buy a bookcase, because I couldn't find a bookcase in the stores around here. So I said, okay, let me go and see if I can order it and have it delivered. Next thing I know, I'm getting all kind of ads dealing with bookcases on my Facebook feed, simply because I typed something in on Google. Now it's coming up on Facebook. That's how an algorithm works. So if you read one article, look at one video of somebody that's negative, you're going to continuously get negative videos of that person, reiterating something that you already saw. You don't get no new information. And then then I told them, I said, y'all do realize that this stuff that y'all talking about is coming from white people who don't like her. A white man ain't influencing my decision. Yes, it is. That information came from them. All the lies that you regurgitated came from them. They literally came from them. It was started by Russians. Now, there may be some black Russians, but for the most part, they're white. And they specifically target black people with negative information about Kamala Harris going back years. Same thing with Hillary Clinton. Same thing with Joe Biden. Every negative thing you can. Joe Biden been in politics for 50 years, over 50 years. And you mean to tell me the only thing that you can find out about him is that he spearheaded a bill that that they said locked up more black men than anything else? Locked up innocent black men? No. He did a whole lot more than that. That's one bill. And as we said before, it was actually black people, black politicians, black clergy, the NAACP, who asked for these stronger penalties for crack. Asked them to do something about it. And also, let's go. I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it alone.
No, go for it.
Do not, when you start rewriting history, do not say these men were innocent. Because if you were around during that time, there were a whole lot of black people getting killed by black men going out here doing stupid stuff, fighting over a street corner. There were a whole bunch of black people getting killed. Now, if you get caught up in the system because you out there doing dirt, don't blame the system because you did the dirt. Don't blame the system for some of the, now not all of them were guilty, but a great majority of them were. And they will tell you, yeah, I was out there doing my thing. I was out there. Don't blame the system. Because Leonard, myself, and other people, we were around at the same time. I was broke as hell during the 80s and 90s, but I never sold no drugs. I never sold any drugs. So don't blame the system. Blame yourself. But I went off on a tangent. I apologize.
No,
one
other thing. Hey, let me say this.
We what we need to do, and no matter what I said, I'm not. One said I'm not voting. The other said I'm not voting. One said I'm not voting at all. The other one said I'm not going to vote for her. And when I said this, well, whether you vote for her or not, go out and vote. Just vote.
Let me say this, Kenneth. Let me say this. And I want to say here to a classmate of mine named John. John's a brilliant dude, man. Thanks, John, for joining us. We are sitting ducks. Y'all don't want to have this hard conversation. Like you don't want to have the hard conversation about hard decisions that had to be made during the civil rights movement. Y'all, because the thing that gets me the most is, man, I hate to even say what I say. Man, give me back men like my father, Mr. Prince, Mr. Williams, Mr. Napper, Lattimore. Men who didn't get into their fucking feelings so much. This is killing me. You talking about your feelings and you don't have the data. I almost feel ashamed that being a part of a generation that raised these men are just into their feelings. When we say deal with your feelings, we're not talking about suppress your feelings. We're talking about control your feelings so you can make the right decisions. You're sitting ducks. There's not going to be a representative for you in his cabinet. Ben Carson? Wait, Kenneth. Ben Carson?
Hold on. Well, think about this. They're sitting here talking about one of the arguments. Well, she ain't come up with nothing specifically for black men. Well, she did came up with a list of things for black men. Now their argument is, oh, it ain't just for black men. It ain't just for black men. What the fuck do you want?
Hey, man,
some of these motherfuckers you can't. And the person who said he wasn't gonna vote, this motherfucker has a business. His goddamn business over the last 4 years has increased tenfold. I mean, he is making so much money since the Biden administration came in. And he said it ain't got nothing to do with Biden. Motherfucker, what you think? The economy's gotten better, which means people have disposable income, which means your business is a beneficiary of that. You don't live in a fucking vacuum. You don't live on an island by yourself. You ain't do shit by your goddamn self.
Nothing. And here's the kicker.
Nothing. None of this shit, none of the success that you have came about because you the only motherfucker who could do it. No, that shit don't work like that. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Here's the kicker. If he wins, you have nobody to represent your interests in his cabinet. Kash Patel don't like black people. Stephen Miller don't like black people. Bannon don't like black people. Navarro ain't no fan of black people. That fool he got from Hungary ain't no fan of black people. They already suppressing your rights in southern states, and without southern states and black votes, which is why you think we're working so hard down here, you lose national elections. And you talking about not voting for a sister, or according to y'all, not a full sister, when half of y'all ain't, according to y'all definitions, y'all ain't black either, to give up what our people gain. And this is for dudes from Morehouse too. I'm glad John's on here. Our greatest living alumni, who we sell to school on every day, so it's 60 years. We have a statue of him in front of the school, gave his life for your right to vote. So if you are Morehouse man alumni ever attended and you're not giving time, shame on you. Because that man who has produced more money for our school than anybody gave his life for the right to vote. That's the first thing he went after, the unfettered right to vote. Everything came after that. I'm just gobsmacked, mind blown that how you move is how the country moves, and you can't understand that. But let me talk about football or basketball or black men who want to complain about black women in marriage. Man, I'm on a site with 100,000 of those men. Over 100,000. And y'all can't give 1 hour and be performative and show us everywhere trying to get her elected? Everywhere? Y'all can't give 1 hour? 1 hour? Man, I can't do this with y'all no more. I've been trying not to say anything about the frats. Even though Kenneth has said, no, you can say something. Kenneth has tried to say something. Y'all are not showing up the way you're supposed to. And you know images mean everything. I'm going to give this story, Kenneth. I'm going to turn it over to you. When I went to France back in 1996 or something, I'm walking down Nice. Like literally, first time I'm walking down Nice. Now I look to my right and I see Tupac on the wall. A big poster of Tupac, right? And when that was about the time Above the Rim came out. And I'm sitting there going, oh, that's an Above the Rim poster. That's what I said to myself, right? But the title said Thug Ball. That's what they renamed the movie in France, Thug Ball. And I'm like, oh, shit. They pressed this image out all over the world. Do y'all not understand what images do? Do you not understand over the next 19 days, you just show thousands of brothers out there passing out flyers on the corner? 1 hour, dude, 1 hour. But all of these sisters out there working, so don't come to me talking about, I see it. You're not going to tell me what my eyes not lying to you. I guarantee you I'm going to go up there today, and it's going to be me and my little brother and my sister and some other black women. All of the sororities going to be represented out there, and I promise you Brian's going to be the only alpha. But y'all want me to come out and have bourbon drink? Fuck that. I got granddaughters. You got grandchildren. I got women I'm supposed to look after. That's supposed to be your first and foremost responsibility is your women and your kids. And y'all making up what? You in your feelings? What they used to do on the football field, Kenneth, we were in our feelings. Run. You in your feelings? You couldn't even survive on the basketball court on any playground in the country in the black neighborhood if you were in your feelings.
Hell no. You be fighting every day because they talk more shit than
fighting every day. You couldn't even survive. You oh my God. I so many things I want to talk about. Do you want to add anything else? That man, give some time. Stop sitting there. Give some time. If you're on Facebook, give some time. I'm not talking about homecoming. I can participate in homecoming and still give an hour next week. I literally can go to homecoming next week because homecoming is all day and get out and pass out flyers, or go get me some flyers and pass them out at homecoming.
There you go.
I literally can go to a tailgate with some flyers and say, brothers, did you vote? But even though most of those people will have voted, and say, well, can you volunteer to make some calls? All over the country.
I'll say this to response to Harry. No, it's not. Frat brothers not against Kamala Harris. No, not. He's saying they're just not showing up at the campaign offices. That's what he's saying. Now they are. I will say this, my brothers. Some chapters are doing some things. I'm not linked into every chapter, but I know the chapters that I was in the cab. They do voter registration doing voter registration at the high schools in DeKalb County. Something that I started years ago. That's something I started that years ago when I was chair of the Voteless People is a Hopeless People Committee, which is our dealing with our fraternities. That's a segment, and each fraternity and sorority has something similar, just have different names. But it's basically trying to educate people about voting, register people to vote, and things of that nature. So my chapter did that. They also have been out on the street corners. Something else I was doing that I started doing.
Yes, you did.
Which I'm ashamed to say I haven't done this year yet. I want to do it today. I'm kind of sick, but Leonard has got me so pissed off right now. I got to go out there. So hopefully I'll be okay when I get out there. But I'm going to be on a street corner somewhere today.
Man,
I just got to figure out where in Augusta.
Look, Kenneth, let me be clear.
What I'm saying
is, go ahead.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The thing is, we need to be more visible in what we do. We need to be more visible. We need to show them not do symbolic stuff. I can't stand symbolic stuff. Symbolism don't mean a damn thing. We're beyond the point of symbolism. We're beyond that point. Now we need action. Doing things just to draw attention is one thing, but you also need to do things that create action. Let's go out and engage people. Stand up, like I said, I'm going to be on a street corner today. Matter of fact, I should just go ahead and say probably I'm going to be. I don't really want to go over there by Augusta Mall. Really don't want to do that. But that place has a lot of traffic. So I'll probably be over by Augusta Mall today with my sign saying "Let's vote." That's where I'm going to be at.
I want to be clear about something. This is not a Leonard Watkins criticize fraternities conversation. I'm talking about all people, all men. It is not a fraternity just responsibility. They may have the structure, but I want to be clear. The women, at the office that I'm at, and I imagine it's the office that I have women saying, "Where are the black men?" as we're canvassing. I'm so happy you came out with me today. I feel safer that you came out with me today. I feel more comfortable to do the work. That's what you bring. Is that not what you want? That's what you bring. Is that not what you want? You have all the time to do everything that you want to do, but do something. Give the campaign an hour. You are in such a consequential situation right now that things can really change. You're acting like this is play, and it's not. You have a billionaire out there who got rich based on a black president giving him a $500 million loan, who's using you as a weapon. And he's from a racist ass regime. He was brought up in a racist ass regime, apartheid. And he's over here weaponizing you. Literally. don't show up, if you don't stand up, if you don't show him the wall, he's going to think he can do it with impunity. You're sitting ducks. I'm going to say this. Because I've been looking at this the other day. The largest subgroup of African-American men that have something in common, I was telling my little brother this the other day, are men who were born up in the Christian tradition. I would venture to say it's probably around 7 million. I didn't say you were acting or practicing Christians. That's not what I'm saying. But you were born up in a Christian church, because Black people, Christians represent 75% of the faith for African Americans. 75%. And there are only 3 groups in our community, and y'all know this to be true. I've counted only 3 that have a fuck around and find out attitude, that people are careful to step on their toes. I tell people it's the Nation of Islam, whether you agree with them or not. It's the GDs, whether you agree with criminality or not. It's the Crips and his Bloods. And we outnumber those groups tenfold. But no one respects you to take care of your communities. No one expects you to take the lead and say, this is what we're going to tolerate, this is what we're not going to tolerate. Which is one of the reasons why the Nation of Islam doesn't fuck with Christian organizations. You have to show that you will stand in the gap for your community. You're the largest number. And your money does not trump your humanity. And your money is going to be affected by this crazy ass regime that's trying to get into office. And for some reason, y'all don't seem to get that. Y'all don't seem to get, the whole problem is they think that 10% of DEI is too much for a country that's not paid a shit. And you won't go out and just give some time, because for some reason we have lost the will to say, no, this is not going to happen to us. So you have these, and what really gets me by it's always these mediocre white dudes that couldn't bust a fruit and a grape in a fruit fight. Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro. All these dudes just be talking shit. And this is going to be a crazy analogy. And I tell people this all the time. Man, if you were on TV talking that shit about the Aryan Nation, you have a message at your house the next day. Or any of those other groups I talked about. But the majority of us, men, do something. Do something. Kenneth say he's going to do something. Do something. Stop being betrayed by the standards in the fuck. You got 19 days. I didn't say your whole life. You got 19 days to do something. You got 19 days to help. And it's going to take more than you donate money. You got 19 days. 19 days. 19 days. Not a nickel. 19 days. Because the people coming in the administration, the people below him, he don't want to damn be president. He just don't want to get you to go to jail. The people below him, they are trying to take over and push you to the fringes of society. And the question is, even if you don't think I'm telling the truth, even if you don't believe me, even if you say, Leonard, this is how hyperbole you're doing, why would you take a chance to find out? You already got your answer from 2016 to 2020, what they're willing to do. What makes you think that they haven't perfected it? And I'm telling you, until you let that racist white boy who came from South Africa, who just says, because I'm worth more as I could do, until you say to him, now you're not doing that to our community, because we control $1 trillion worth of buying power. And at the end of the day, we not tolerating that. We already did that. Our fathers did that. Our parents did that. For Morehouse, our greatest alumni has done that. He gave his life. We're not doing that. So you might want to stop, leave us the fuck alone. You might want to just leave us alone. because I don't see no alpha males up there on stage. Elon Musk is not an alpha male to me. Now, Ron Prince, I might say, oh, shit, you know what, Ron Prince, let me rechange my strategy and go get my Ron Prince. You know, Kenneth, I'm gonna stop with this one. You're hearing about poisoning the blood of America, blah, 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 blah. Bruh, people of the African diaspora, our people have been the antidote to America. We saved America. We've been the antidote. We have saved her against herself for time and time again. And I'm going to say this is what I said yesterday on my TikTok page. There is not one country in the world, not one. Let me be clear to all of y'all. Not one that if this shit gets bad, if this shit goes pre-1960, because half of y'all ain't going to be able to do the pre-1960. There is no right of return for you anywhere in the world. Israel has a right of return for all Jewish citizens all around the world, that if they make the decision they want to immigrate to Israel, the government has to help them get to Israel. You ain't got nowhere to go. This is all you got. And I ain't going nowhere anyway. I got enough people that fought and gave blood. I got a friend right here who fought. Yeah, I'm going to take some of his credit too, Ken, if you heard that right. Because he and I close. You don't have any place to go. There's no right of return for you anywhere. No, there's no African country that gives you right of return. I'm sorry, it's not one. Dumb as hell, dumb decision on their part, but it's not one. Go for it, my man. Go for it. My bad. Go for it.
I was just looking up something. I'm sorry. I was listening to you. The thing is this: we need to stop acting like this doesn't. What's coming up is not going to affect us.
Oh my God! Please
get that out of your head. Get it out of your head for real. Get that shit out of your head. It's going to affect you. Who the president is, who's a member of Congress, who's the members of Congress, that's going to affect you. Because if Donald Trump gets back in, one thing he will do, I can guarantee, there's two things I can guarantee. One is that Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito will retire.
Will resign immediately. You're right. Immediately.
So he's going to have to appoint two more Supreme Court justices. Two more. That's what's going to happen. That's one thing. Matter of fact, they'll probably tell, the day after the election, if he wins, we're going to retire on January 21st.
And John Roberts might go with him.
Yeah. So he'll get to appoint at least two, possibly three Supreme Court justices that are very, very young, in their 40s, which means they could be on the Supreme Court for another 40 years.
Ambitious.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, yeah. And like that dude in Texas, like that one in Texas. Oh, yeah. Ambitious.
Yeah. So your rights, they're going to roll back a lot of your rights. That's what's going to happen. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Number two, I've said this recently, and I don't know if I've said this on here, but I'm gonna say it publicly now. We're seeing Donald Trump and his cognitive abilities diminish right before our eyes. Like, he is literally declining mentally right before our eyes. Everything that he does, and people at first they were dismissing it as, okay, well, he's just saying rhetoric and all that. No, there's something wrong with that dude. There's something seriously wrong with him.
Like
say that now. Yeah, I'm saying it now. If he gets in office, I'll give it 6 months at the most. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump's cabinet is going to invoke the 25th Amendment. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of the 25th Amendment. There's 4 different sections on it. One deals with, the first part deals with if the president dies, the vice president automatically becomes president. If the president dies, resigns, vice president automatically becomes president. Number 2, if the vice president dies and or resigns, the president has to nominate somebody to be the vice president. Yeah, has to put somebody up to be the vice president. Number 3, if the president is sick or incapacitated for at any point, even if it's for a few hours, the president is supposed to tell the vice president, hey, I will be having, like if you have surgery, foot surgery. I'm having foot surgery, so the vice president gonna take over for a few days while I recover from foot surgery. But the 4th one, that's the one that's dealing with Donald Trump and his mental abilities. That 4th part says, if the vice president or majority of the cabinet and the majority of the cabinet, vice president of the president's cabinet, deem that the president cannot fulfill his duties as president, they have the right to remove the president. Think about what I'm saying. If they think that he cannot fulfill his duties for whatever reason, mentally or physical reasons, he can't fulfill his duty, the 25th Amendment can be invoked and they can have him removed from office. That's what they can do. That's what the vice president can do. And I guarantee you within a year, they're going to remove Donald Trump with the 25th Amendment. And J.D. Vance is going to be in there. He's going to be in office within a year. I can guarantee it, because his mental decline is happening right before our eyes. Hell, he could actually do it the day that Donald Trump, well, no, he can't do it because he won't have a cabinet formed, really. Cabinet won't be confirmed by the Senate. But he could actually do it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they're going to wait a while, 6 months to a year. They're going to, after his cabinet is in place, they're going to invoke the 25th Amendment, and they're going to remove Donald Trump from office. And J.D. Vance is going to be the president. That's how it's going to work.
Let me say this, because then I got to go, Candace. It's easy to take my visceral reaction for just straight criticism, when actually I believe in you. I believe in us. I believe we have the power to do everything that we know we can do to move this country where it's supposed to be. And people say, well, why you just talk about your community? My community has the most to lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I talk about my community. We have the most to lose. But I believe in you. I think you just forgot who you are. I think you forgot who you came from. I think you forgot that in 1953, over 600,000 black men who were stone cold killers because they had been trained by the U.S. military came home to the South. Stone cold killers. Some of them had just come out of World War II, had just saw how people were treating them in other parts of the country, and had to make the decision in the South to not go pick up arms because they knew that was a suicidal mission. So they made the decision to follow this 27-year-old Baptist preacher out of Atlanta who said there's a better way. You know how hard that has to be, how much strength you have to say to not be who you are, who you trained to be, because you know you can't win that fight against the greatest killing machine in history that just released the greatest killing weapon in history, that you got to follow this 27-year-old phenomenal person that's never been duplicated since then, and follow his lead and say, okay, I'm not going. It's going against everything in my body, but I'm not going to do it. And do you understand that you just saw what happens when you try to go into a military battle and you don't have the military might to take on a military power from October 7th to this year? You get slaughtered. That's dumb. That's not honorable. Those men had to have the strength to say, I'm not going to do what I'm trained to do because it's not the right strategy to do it. Y'all willing to just throw that out the window? I believe in you. The question is, do you believe in yourself? Push her over the finish line. Give her an hour. Share this video. Send me the smoke. I don't care. Image is everything. When you see us pushing her and saying No, we not letting nobody talk about assassinating her like it's some joke like them two assholes did on national TV. No, we not doing that. Hey, man, look, we going to do a lot of stuff, but we not doing that. We don't even do that on the playground. All of us who are black have been on the playground. It's where a lot of us grew up. There's certain things that you cannot say. I believe in you. Do you believe in yourself? Get out. Give her an hour. Give her 2 hours. There's campaign offices everywhere. If you can tailgate, you can give her an hour. Take us out, man. I got to go.
All right. Well, first of all, one thing that we didn't talk about, the interview she did with Fox. That's something we should have talked about.
I agree. Go ahead. Yeah. Jump into
that. First of all, she made them look stupid. And she did it with a smile on her face. When they came up with that clip of Trump that they edited, and she immediately caught on to it, said, no, that's not what he said. He hadn't been saying that. That's not what he said. She called him out on their own network in their own interview and made them look horrible. Now, I don't know if she gained any more votes because of that, but I can at least from Fox views, but I can guarantee you that she gained a lot of respect from a lot of people for that.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect. Because here it is, all this misinformation, all these lies that he's been spewing and stuff he's been doing over the months, and nobody's checked him. And Fox has been regurgitating that stuff. And she checked him in a live interview where he couldn't say it. Brett Baer couldn't say a word because he knew that was an edited thing. He might not have done the editing, but he knew that was an edited comment. And she called him out to his face. That right there, she got a lot of respect from people who was like, oh, okay, I didn't know she was going to go there with that. And she did it in a nice way. Now, Leonard and I would have done it. No, hell no. You know that shit ain't right. You know that motherfucker didn't say that shit.
And that's why we ain't running for president.
Yeah. But she did it in a way, and she did it in a calm voice. She never raised her voice. She never got combative. She just pointed out, you know he didn't say that, right? That's not what he's been saying. And then she went on with her talking point about the stuff he's been saying. So I'll say this. That interview that she did gained her a lot of respect. The fact that Donald Trump isn't giving any interviews, is only making appearances, like, and when he does do interviews, like he was on, what was it, Fox and Friends or something like that, their morning show, and he went on this diatribe about nonsense and all that stuff, and talked about Hannibal Lecter and I mean the stuff he normally talks about that doesn't make any sense. It actually helps her every time he opens his mouth. For people who are paying attention, if you pay attention, it helps her every time he opens his mouth, which is the reason why he's not doing any more interviews. Because they know.
Not to mention, the guy got on there literally and said that the teaching of American history, the host, he called it new history. The teaching of American history. Another mediocre white boy who wouldn't walk anywhere near, because you know how we are. We're like, man, if white boy walk in the neighborhood, that's a bad white boy. We show him respect. Wouldn't come another one with a brother sitting up there because he won his job.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, he didn't say a word. He never said a word.
There has to be a price to be paid. And I don't mean
1995 fade, high top fade. Right.
I don't mean when people hear price to be paid, they automatically jump to a physical price. I'm not talking. We do not have to do physical. Martin Luther King taught us one thing. He taught us our greatest power, which scared the shit out of the establishment, is to remove ourselves from the system. That's what the Montgomery boycott taught. Was that, oh my God, if they remove themselves from the system, they can make people go bankrupt. Mm-hmm. You don't have to just remove yourselves. but you gotta have the will.
Well, just like Elon
right.
Musk, one of my students said yesterday to me, Mr. Lively, and we were talking about if you got money, having exotic cars and all, and he was talking about, well, yeah, man, I'm gonna give me a Tesla or whatever. And I said, you do not realize that Elon Musk he don't care, he don't like black people. So why would you give your money to a man who's openly racist and openly hostile to people who look like you? And he's like, well, what you mean? I said, you don't know anything about Elon Musk? No, I don't know nothing about it. So I broke it down for him. This is in my class. In the class, we get ready to go. I broke it down for him. How Elon Musk is his parents made money during apartheid, oppressing black people. And here he is, come over to America, got help from a black president, and all of a sudden he turned on black people.
Right.
Can't stand black people. And I said, black people are buying his cars because that's the latest thing. I was like, first of all, there's other electric cars out there. If you want an electric car,
his truck, which is ugly as hell. I'm like,
oh, that's an ugly ass damn truck.
You gonna pay for your own oppression, and him telling you to your face, you got
and that's what I was saying. I was like, we don't do that, man. We don't do that. We are not paying for our own oppression. We ain't doing that.
We can't do it. We don't do it.
We can't afford to do it.
We can't afford to do that. Leave him alone.
Let's make him
be
go.
So damn scared.
You know what? And I know he's doing something. I hope he get caught up in something. They investigate him in something. He get caught up in something. Somebody got to do, because I know he's doing some illegal shit. No, he is. Those of you who are a part of a union, he talked about he and Trump laughed about Elon Musk firing people who went on strike.
Right, at will, because he can. Just because.
Because they went on strike. He just fired.
And they had the audacity to go to Michigan and ask some union workers, and they say, I don't know. And she's the one to save your pensions. Bro, y'all are on your own. Let me keep telling you this. You're on your own, but you are enough. Yesterday, I watched them talk to some people in Michigan who were Arab who said they could never vote for a genocider. And the lady who did the interview came back on, and she was Arab. She's like, they called her a genocider. What do they think is going to happen if Trump gets
Donald Trump? Right. And then I heard that, and I was saying to myself, y'all don't realize what the alternative is. At least she's talking about, hey, we gonna stop. And at least she's talking about, hey, we gonna figure out make it a little stronger here. We're gonna do something. We're not gonna continue to let them do that. But
because that's not who she is. She's an empathetic person. She thinks she likes watching this, but she also understands what she has to do first. But hey, you do you. We see what you're doing. But we also know that we probably are the majority of your business in Dearborn, Michigan. I bet you 60% of your business comes from us. But you do you. Yeah. You do you. And that's my point. You have to start making people uncomfortable for their decisions. We have to start being more conscious. And the interview, Brett Baer was so disrespectful. You never cut him off. He cuts y'all off, and y'all never cut him off because you don't want to get into a back and forth with him, and he knows it. But he cuts you off.
He did about 6 or 7 times, cutting her off, wouldn't let her finish her thought. But Donald Trump, he can sit down with them and talk to them and talk for 10 minutes, and they won't say a word. Yes, Mr. President. Okay.
Donald Trump
won't say a word.
Yeah. Donald Trump cut off Harris Faulkner. Donald Trump cut off Kristi Noem, where he was swaying, which is crazy. We didn't talk about that. Donald Trump cut off the editor-in-chief of Forbes, who was asking him questions. He stopped the town hall to listen to music.
Oh, yeah. And dance for 40 minutes.
So look, this is to our white allies. This is not a message directed at you. It's not hate. But at some point, one of the things you learn as you get older is people don't get involved in stuff that doesn't affect them directly. I don't know how the Arab Muslims in Michigan feel like this is not going to affect them directly. I know y'all asked us for our allyship earlier this year. I know you're about to lose it completely. These black ministers not getting out. I think they need to be called out by the majority of us and call them to the carpet and ask them what manhood you're fighting for, hey, that's all I got, bro. I got to go.
All right, so I'm getting ready to go out, y'all, and head to the streets. I'm gonna take me some medication, some medicine, and I'm gonna head.
He's gonna announce it on Facebook. Why don't y'all join? Some of y'all join him in Augusta.
I'm going to be more than likely, because I'm trying to think of a place that's, you know what, I may go over by Daniel Field, over there by that Popeye, so I can get me something to eat while I'm standing there.
Why you there? Look, that's the blackest thing you could do.
Oh, that's the blackest thing I could do. Stand in front of Popeyes and ask black people to vote. That's the blackest thing I could do.
While you're eating your chicken wing.
The only thing I need is some watermelon. And some Kool-Aid.
No. A Colt 45 with Billy D.
Oh boy. I'll go all the way black today, y'all. So, if you
okay, man. Oh, boy.
So now, and I'm not kidding. I'm going to that. I'm going right there, parking that parking lot.
That's the funny part. I know you're not kidding. They think you joking.
Right over by Daniel Fields. I think this was at Walton Way and
right. Walton Way,
Highland Avenue. Walton Way, Highland Avenue. Yeah, I'm gonna stand right there by that Popeyes with my sign, y'all. And
hey, look,
I'm gonna have at some point I'm gonna give me some chicken. I know that I'm gonna give me some chicken.
Hey, take your phone and I'm gonna go live with you on the phone. We can go live together, and I'll be out knocking on doors, and you eat your chicken. Look, we'll get blackety black all the way black.
Oh man!
Hey, look, make sure you wear your Alpha jacket while you doing it.
Oh boy!
Surely you could find an AKA that go out there with you. It's enough of them in Augusta. So surely, look, Kenneth's gonna come back on and give you a time. Man, why don't y'all show up? Y'all want to have a Glen Hills function? Y'all want to have a Glen Hills party? Have a Glen Hills party for Kamala. Show up impromptu. Show them. Trust me.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll get some people to come in. Because seriously, I am going to be out there. I am going to be at that intersection. I may not be eating chicken the whole time, but I'm definitely going to give me some chicken while I'm out there. It's going to be my lunch.
Trust me.
I'll be out there. I'll be out there by 12 o'clock, y'all. Seriously, I'll be.
Okay, we got to go there. You're going to be out there by 12. We definitely got to go. Trust me. Brothers, wait, let me say this. Trust me, brothers. Your presence is wanted and needed. Kenneth, I'm going to leave with this. One of the things I noticed at the event was the women who had the clipboards who were talking to the brothers, right, Kenneth? They were trying their hardest not to hurt their egos. And I was sitting there getting pissed. They were trying their hardest not to turn them off. Literally, and telling them, we need you. Anyway, y'all, I got to go. Peace. Go at the peace sign, Kenneth.
Deuces.
See you on Walton Way in Island. We're going to go live.
I'm actually getting ready to post that on Facebook right now.
Yeah, we're going to go live. We're going to go live. Kenneth, I'm going to go live with you as I'm walking through a neighborhood knocking on doors. Look, I took my grandkids out. Every time they were going to open the door and say something to me bad, Kenneth, they saw my grandkids like, oh, got the grandkids. Oh, that's so sweet. And you know what I told them, Kenneth? You thought I was a Jehovah's Witness, didn't you? You had Jehovah's Witness. No, bro. Anyway, peace, y'all. I believe in you, brothers. Let's get going. 19 days. Do something. 1 hour. That's all I'm asking. 1 hour. Do it. Everywhere. Peace.
All right, deuces.
Hey, let me go. I'm gonna go.